course, for us in the UK, it means that we can deliver a real Brexit that achieves our objectives.
A week ago, to some, it seemed almost impossible. But today, UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson is confident he can get the votes it'll take to pass his Brexit deal, a deal which was signed off by the European Union overnight.
And I want to stress that this is a great deal for our country, for the UK. I also believe it's a very good deal for our friends in the EU. And what it means is that we in the UK can come out of the EU as one united kingdom.
Mr Johnson believes he can get the deal through tomorrow on a Super Saturday vote. The founder and editor of Britain's Politics First magazine, Marcus Papadopoulos, joins me now via Skype. Marcus, what happens if Mr Johnson does get this through?
Well, if the House of Commons approves Boris Johnson's deal with the European Union this Saturday, then the UK will withdraw from the European Union by the end of this month. And if that happens, then there's no question or doubt about it. Boris Johnson will be known as the comeback kid in UK politics, because for the last few months, his pledge, his opinion that a deal with the European Union can be secured has been scoffed at by his opponents, not just at Westminster, but around the country. Mr Johnson has said the whole time that a deal can be reached with the European Union. And as I said, it has been laughed at, it has been dismissed. Well, here we have now the European Union and the UK government having come to a deal, and now the ball is firmly in the court of the House of Commons. Mr Johnson is going to have to look elsewhere for support in the House of Commons for his deal. However, Mr Johnson does have an ace up his sleeve, and the ace is this. The European Union, Michel Barnier, said today that there will be no further extension to Brexit. That means the Prime Minister can use that to his advantage by saying to MPs in the House of Commons that if you do not vote in favour of this deal, then you are jeopardising Brexit, because the European Union has said unequivocally that there will be no extension. So then Mr Johnson can say to the country, to the people of the UK, if his deal is rejected, he can say that Britain might not leave the European Union because of MPs who have not delivered the wishes of the UK public. Let's just say Britain does leave the European Union on or by the 31st of October. That is going to have ramifications for people in the European Union and also people outside of the European Union who want to come and live and work in the UK. However, that does not apply to Australia and New Zealand. The UK government, when Theresa May headed it, and today with Boris Johnson heading it, have said very clearly, categorically, that people from Australia and people from New Zealand will always be welcome to come and live and work in the UK. There will be no obstacles put before Australians and New Zealanders.
Now, while many people in Britain are relieved at the breakthrough, the Northern Irish Democratic Unionist Party isn't happy. Right now, the border between Northern Ireland and the Irish Republic is seamless. The DUP is worried if the deal gets through and Northern Ireland is linked with Ireland on EU customs, trade and some regulations, it could drive a wedge between it and the rest of the UK. Their concerns are in contrast with Ireland's Prime Minister. CNN's Nick Robertson explains.
Well, he's got the protection of the integrity of the European Union single market, i.e. Even though there's an open border on the island of Ireland between Northern Ireland and the Republic of Ireland, he's been able to make provisions that there won't be goods coming into Ireland that are not aligned in regulatory alignment with the European Union, and that if tariffs are due on them, then those tariffs will get paid. He's made sure that the economy on the island of Ireland can prosper. This is a good deal for Leo Varadkar, who may face his own election in the next few months as well. So it's a good deal for him. But again, it's come at the expense, too much compromise for that political party, the Democratic Unionist Party in Northern Ireland. And they have 10 MPs, and Boris Johnson now doesn't have their support. And those 10 will be very, very important numbers that he won't have for the vote this weekend.
So what happens if the deal is voted down tomorrow? Well, Boris Johnson will be handed a legal document which compels him to go back to the EU and ask for a 3-month extension, something which him and the EU don't want. That's a fight that'll play out in the coming weeks. It could eventually get to a point of a general election being called in the UK. That's Unpacked for today. I'm Chloe Amanda Bailey. I'll be right here again tomorrow at 5 p.m. Until then, whatever you're doing, make it good.